I think this went live. I have no idea,
It did.
but we'll figure it out anyway.
I'm double checking.
You're double checking everything? All right. So, free agency, in my opinion, kind of kicked off with a bang. Couple guys opted out of contracts that I didn't think they would. One being Frankie Montas. I think that's a big deal. Garrett Cole obviously re-signed. I think we all kind of knew that. But man, let's take a look at some of the qualifying offers here so far, and let's talk about it. Does this surprise any of you too?
Oof.
Not really.
You think Sean Manaea is worth $21.5 million?
No. I mean,
I just don't
yeah,
think they want him to leave the building.
I just think they're trying to stall to get him to, like you just said, you know, get him in the office a little bit longer to negotiate because he has an Oriole written all over him.
Yeah. Especially being left-handed.
Yes.
Severino was a guy that I kind of really wanted. I felt like he would have been a very solid 4 for us with postseason experience, AL East experience. I mean, the Mets don't want him to get going, Kind of sucks, but maybe. I mean, he could reject it, right? So they've already said that Soto has already rejected his. I think we all kind of knew that was coming. I mean, it's roughly 9 to 10 to 15 to 20 million cheaper than what he was going to get paid anyway.
If any of the projections are correct, that $21 million is a third of what he can make on the open market.
That's what I mean. Yeah, the Yankees at this point are just trying to get a first-round pick, I think. Kind of like what the Orioles are doing.
How do you guys feel about Soto going to be just north of us wearing pinstripes, but red pinstripes this go round?
I'm okay with that.
Did you read what they said earlier about how they will do anything possible to sign him? Like that shocked me.
Yeah, there's talks. We were talking about this today that there's 3 or 4 star players in Philly that they're going to let walk in order to make room for Soto.
Yeah. I mean, Alec Boehm. I mean, the guy was literally in the MVP conversation in June.
I really like him, and
Me too.
Tore the Orioles up.
Yeah, and he's a big right. I might say ship almost anyone for him. I mean, that's a good third baseman, a big right-handed power bat. Move Westberg to second, Jackson to center.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that there's a lot of I wouldn't say rumors just yet, but there's a lot of good third basemen that have the potential to get moved in here.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens to be that corner of the infield happens to be where our gridlock is, which is crazy. And Matt and I were talking about this, and I think Zach, we were all probably talking about this, but I really think Westberg needs to stay in the infield. I mean, I know he has the athleticism to go to the outfield, but if it's anybody out of Gunnar, Westberg, and Jackson, I would preferably hope that it would be Jackson that would make that move.
Yeah.
If you go by seniority, it should be.
How do we feel about the qualifying Anthony offer for Tony? I mean, I think we knew that was coming, but I just think he doesn't know what he's worth right now.
I mean, I think that might be the same thing that we did with what the Mets did with Manaea. Is that might be a ploy to keep him in the building, and at least I know he wants to capitalize off the 45 home runs or whatever he hit this year, but that keeps him in the building. That keeps him here at least for the time being, and it's like a good faith effort. Like, hey, we're going to offer you 21 million for 1 year. So if we're willing to do that for 1 year, maybe we can do that for 2 or 3.
Right.
He hit enough home runs that would have gotten you a steak there, Matt.
We talked about that the other night, and I don't that like hurt my soul that Gunnar decided to shit the bed the last month of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It Tony, I think the Orioles give themselves a 15-day longer window to talk to him by giving them the offer. 21, I think, is possibly higher than what he's going to make in the open market. I think he's still going to try, mainly for the year's control. 1 year deal, prove it. Joe said it a couple times here in the chat about him potentially taking the offer, the qualifying offer, and betting on himself. It's a tough take because who's gonna give up 4 to 5 years of security, especially if it's 18, 19 million. You know what I mean? Like, it's a tough call for a guy like him. Now, like, I'm honestly shocked Christian Walker got a qualifying offer. He's not getting $21 million at 33 years old, in my opinion. Like, are they also trying to restructure him too? Like, give themselves a
Probably.
little bit of a window?
They're all trying to get a window right here. Most of the guys on the screen right here are that purpose alone.
Yeah.
Juan Soto wasn't taking that because Juan Soto is going to get almost $50 million a year on the open market from some crazy ass team, whether it's Philly or one of the California squads.
Right.
You know, Burns is going to make probably $5 million more than that, and you know, I'm looking around at the screen right here, and Adames is going to make more than that on the open market per year. So is Bregman. Alonso might take that just based on the fact that he's not going to see 20 million a year anywhere.
Do you think? Yeah, as I was going to say, do you think he would get it elsewhere?
No.
Do you think he wants to leave New York?
Yes.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys, these teams are basically just banking on that extra first round pick. Now that they're tradable, I mean, that's a big deal, especially for the Orioles. I mean, we knew under Angelos, if a guy had a first round pick attached to him, like one of these qualifying offer players, we were out immediately. They never gave up that first round pick. Having 4 this year, I think Elias might finally do it. I don't know.
And we're going to draft 2 shortstops and 2 catchers.
Potentially, yes. The
Well,
shortstops don't bother me though, because you can move them all over the field.
We just brought in a catcher today, so I think that might give us some behind the scenes news on McCann.
Can we
Yeah, I
get
was
some, can
I
we
was gonna
draft a
get to
goddamn
that.
pitcher this year?
Yeah, I don't know what that spells for McCann. I mean, Pinto, he hasn't played a ton in the bigs. It was like 30 games, 28 games, and like 35 games or something like that over the last 3 years. I mean, it's not a ton, but I mean, it's a guy with experience he's more of a defensive specialist, which I mean, nowadays that's what you want your backup to be anyway. I don't know. That move's interesting to me.
Yeah, the more I think about it, though, about Soto, I think he's just in mercenary mode. Wouldn't surprise me if he continues this mercenary mode for the rest of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Just
He's
for
good
how
enough
much
to do
he's
it.
worth.
Yeah.
He's definitely
Why
good
not?
enough to do it. I mean,
Crazy.
you've seen him go everywhere and be successful everywhere he's been.
Right.
Pete Alonso.
Yeah, that one surprises me a little bit. And
Alex Bregman was a name that Matt brought up, and that's when I was like, nah, I can't see Westberg being moved around. I don't know. I don't know what to think.
Matt and I talked the other night about trying to go and acquire Bo Bichette and putting him at second just to shore up the defensive infield. And then I was thinking earlier, like, what if the Orioles decided to go after Willy Adames? It's a defensive upgrade, and it's a power right-handed bat with speed,
Which is what.
and
he's
he's a little bit of a firecracker. And I think all 3 of us can agree that this team needs a little bit of a firecracker.
Do we get any of the veteran leadership from him that we desperately need?
I don't know. He's been around the game for a while, so you'll get experience. I don't know if you'll get leadership, so to say. I don't know if he's a leader, if that makes sense.
That's true. That's a good point. 100% good point.
I just like the right-handed bat upgrade, and you're upgrading defensively. You have an athletic guys. You can find a spot for him.
Yeah.
But the lack of right-handed power in our lineup and on this team, it doesn't even have to be power. The lack of right-handed hitting on this team.
Yeah, for real. Right-handed hitting and left-handed pitching.
Yep.
It's just never ending.
I like
Christian
Teoscar.
Walker, I think he gets a 2 or 3 year deal. What do you think?
I would take him here for a 2 or 3 year deal.
Now he is 33, but he did just win a Gold Glove again. I mean, the power is what, mid 20s for home runs.
Christian Walker is what we wanted Mountcastle to be.
Yes, and I think they got rid of Mountcastle expecting. I mean, they got rid of Walker expecting Mountcastle to be that guy.
Yep.
And he was on pace for it. He hit what, 33 his rookie season or something like that. He was on pace. I mean, the defense is on par right now. It's just we went from a guy hitting 33 home runs his rookie year to 13 in what, year 5, year 4. There's a little bit of a drop off. Granted, the wall plays a huge role in that, but
the wall decimated his numbers.
Yeah,
We talked about that the other night.
Yeah, but that's what also scares me about bringing in another right-handed hitter. Like, okay, cool, this guy had 30 home runs. Like take Alonso. Like, does that translate here? I don't think it's going to still translate in opposing team stadiums. But I mean, we're paying a guy a lot of money to hit home runs, and if he just doesn't hit as many at home, like, I don't know, it just kind of defeats the purpose of having a right-handed hitter, in my opinion. I almost rather have like a right-handed on base guy.
Yeah, if he hits 30 without our wall, you call it 23, 24 with our wall. Is he worth the money for 24 home runs?
I don't know. I really don't know.
That's a tough call. It's a really tough call.
Yeah.
You know who screams veteran leadership, though? Alex Bregman.
Yeah.
World Series experience, too.
Oh, yeah. Lots of it.
A lot of it. Absolutely. Now, see, I would be okay with Bregman. I would, if you can get Bregman, and if you can sell him on being the veteran leader, most likely the cleanup hitter, and tell him that he is going to be the cornerstone third baseman for the next 5 years plus, I don't see how you say no to that.
Yeah.
I mean, Westberg has the ability to play literally 8 positions on the field, 7 positions on the field. He can do everything but catch.
Yeah, he's almost like a new age, better hitting Ryan Flaherty.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even. That's a disservice to Westberg. I'd say he's probably a more refined Melvin Mora.
That's fair. I like
He's
that,
a
actually.
he's a more refined Melvin Mora, because when Mora first came to the team, he was playing everywhere.
Yeah.
Infield, outfield, and then I think he settled in at third base, I believe.
Yep.
But
They had him in left field a good bit.
yeah, he was an outfielder for a while. He could play anywhere, and he hit for average, and he had a little bit of pop for a little bit of power. I think
I miss
Westberg might have a
Melby.
little bit. What'd you say, Tim? I'm sorry.
I miss Melby. I loved him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was fun to watch.
he definitely was. I just think that Bregman fits here more so than a lot of the guys on the screen right now, at least in terms of
Physical appearance.
hitters. Not no, no, man. Christian Walker would be cool because I think he's an upgrade offensively over Mountcastle, no matter how you swing it.
Yeah.
Mountcastle, his numbers dropped dramatically when that short porch in left field got pushed back, 20 feet deeper by 18 feet higher.
Yeah.
So that's a factor. Adamas would be fantastic, but I really don't see them alienating Gunnar when the goal is to sign him long term.
Yeah. That's fair.
Because think about this though, and Tim, I know that we've talked about this plenty of times. The goal is to make Gunnar the corner, the absolute guy in our franchise. What do we say to him that, oh, you're 2 years from free agent, 3 years from free agency? Let's give Willie Adamas a 6-year contract for $170 million, and you're going to move to third base now. first thing smoking, he's gonna be out of the city.
Maybe, but well, I'll counter that is the Padres just did it with Bogarts. And everything seemed to be fine. I mean, they were able to trade away CJ Abrams. They moved Merrill to center field. They had Tatis. They moved him to right field. You had Machado. He stayed at third. And you still had Kim. And then they just moved Bogarts to second base. And then when Kim got hurt, I think in the playoffs, right? And Bogart moved back to short.
Yeah.
But just having that versatility for the Orioles, I mean, because we watched Gunnar not get days off because they just didn't have anybody. Now, if they go try and do that again, that's malpractice, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now you got Jackson. You better have Westberg taking ground balls. Having another guy, too, might help the team either beat Bo Bichette, Willie Adames, someone.
And it was an insane amount of no days off. It wasn't even like it was like,
I think he
it
played
wasn't close.
155 games this year.
Yeah.
I think it was something
insane.
I think it was something crazy like that.
Yep.
I think he averaged 1 day off a month throughout the course of the entire season.
Yeah. Let me ask you a real dumb question. Would you entertain as a like bringing back the style of Rougned Odor and Frazier and bring in Paul DeJong?
Absolutely.
If you got a veteran presence.
If he comes in with the understanding that he's going to play once a week, yeah, sign me up. I'll take him.
Yeah, play second, shortstop, third base. I'm pretty sure he could probably pick a ball at first base in an emergency situation. You get the veteran.
I like that. I think it's I would be okay with that because we can get rid of one of the Sotos. You can get rid of, maybe it's time that Urias gets his walking papers.
Well, that would be your big thing is who gets the papers, right? It's because they just activated Mateo today, so Mateo is going to be back. So you got Mateo and Urias. Do you feel like you would have to upgrade from one of those two?
Yeah, you got to upgrade from Urias.
Yeah,
because Mateo is your super utility guy. He's going to be the guy that can give Kowser, Kerstad nights off. He's the guy that can give Jackson a night off. He's the guy that can give Gunnar a night off. He can play anywhere in the field that's not first base.
Yeah.
And he can hit and he can run.
And people don't want to talk about it, but you could feel it from the time he got injured. We missed him.
Yeah.
Of course we did.
That team missed him big time.
Yeah, I feel like he brings a lot of energy to the team, really.
There's no doubt about it. That you got to keep Mateo. And I was on the train a year or so ago when he was at his maximum value to trade him for an arm, but I'm glad we ended up holding on to him because the guy can do everything.
Yeah.
Bring back Adam Frazier.
I don't know if I'd bring back Frazier. I would rather probably have DeJong than Frazier, just because Frazier's left-handed
and he can't hit.
Yeah.
I mean, if he could have hit, we'd have kept him.
Yeah.
Joe's logged into his Mike Elias burner right now.
Yeah. What do you Nick Martinez surprised me. I don't feel like Nick Martinez is worth 21. I don't think Nick Pivetta is worth 21.
Those two.
I don't see any teams even really outbidding the team that they're on either. Like maybe somebody would take a flyer on them, but like why would they? Like
it's all posturing though, Zach. It's all posturing to see if they're kind of getting a pulse for where these guys are mentally, whether they want to test the market or not. Now the Braves know Max is going to test the market.
Yeah, for sure.
I personally want Max to, take a visit to Charm City. Maybe Jimmy's Seafood can throw him crab cakes for life or something.
Yeah.
Like they do with all the Ravens, potential free agents.
Yeah.
But I'm not really a Pivetta guy. If out of all those pitchers there, if we can't have Corbin back, I'm taking Max.
Yeah.
Followed by Manea.
John, hook the crab cakes up, brother.
What you don't see on here obviously is Blake Snell, but that's because he wasn't eligible for a qualifying offer. I heard some interesting today though. He has only pitched over 130 innings 2 times in his career. How do you have 2 Cy Youngs when you've only pitched 130 innings? Is
I
my question
actually
for one.
probably read that same thing today. I was just getting ready to say that. I was looking for it because I bookmarked it.
Yeah, it was incredible for me
It's
to read that.
efficiency. I mean, it just seems like it's efficiency and not a lot of innings pitched.
Well, that's the thing is he goes 5, and that's kind of it.
He goes 5, but he gets run support,
Yeah,
and he's got a good bullpen behind him for the most part.
yeah,
You know, if you're imagine, like we talked about this the other night, Zach and Tim. I know you and I have talked about it plenty of times during the course of the season. Imagine Corbin Burns with consistent run support. He's the runaway AL Cy Young, and it's not even close.
yeah.
It's not, and I was just talking about that with my wife actually, and it was if what would have Corbin's numbers have looked like if he had just even the slightest drop in increase in run support this year. I mean, he pitched 32 games, and if that is what I think he's out gonna fish this market for, would probably be somewhere around 32 million a year, which would be $1 million a start.
Right.
We talked
And
about that before the show.
I,
That's deep waters. I don't know if your boy Dave is gonna open up the checkbook like that.
it is, but without him, and if you don't make a move, who, where's your dominant ace for your postseason team?
Yeah, we talked about that the other night.
You're gonna have to go get Snell or Fried. You're gonna have to.
Yeah.
And then, but then do you find yourself in a bidding war because there's going to be plenty of other teams in on Snell and
Oh,
Fried?
1,000%.
You got to. You're not. It's not like these teams are gonna say, "Oh, Baltimore's bidding. Let's leave them be so they can get somebody."
Right.
This we're a contender now. This is uncharted waters for us as an organization in the 21st century.
So then just drink the Kool-Aid and send the man some money. Make it easy.
Yeah.
They got to. I believe 100%. If Burns had consistent run support, we wouldn't even be sweating right now. We would be talking about giving a shit ton of money to Juan Soto or whoever.
Mm-hmm.
If Burns was a lock to come back, this wouldn't even be an issue. But out of those 32 starts, we gave him solid run support, probably 12 of them.
Yeah. Were you guys concerned at all with his 22 home runs given up?
Yes. You and I talked about it the other night, Zach. And Tim, you and I, Tim, you mentioned it a lot during the year on Foul Ball Talk. Burns is good for the home run, then he gets the jitters out.
Yeah.
That's that first or second inning home run.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like we could probably count less than 4 home runs that were like impactful in the game. And those were games that, like Houston, when it just kind of got away. Maybe only 2 or 3 of them. It wasn't many. It always seemed like a first, second, maybe third inning. It was the first run that he usually gave up was just a solo shot, or it was a solo shot like in the 4th or the 5th. It was only 2 or 3 big time home runs, but it just felt like you just knew it was coming. A lot of time it was first, second, third batter. It was just, he just couldn't escape it. Even with the wall in Baltimore, it didn't even matter. He was just always giving up a home run. And to me, that kind of, it turned me off a little bit. We'll say like 10%. I'm just glad it didn't turn into bigger home runs.
Yeah, that one ball would fly, and you'd be like, all right, cool, now he's locked in.
Yeah, right down the middle.
I'm also thinking about that graphic you showed the other night, Zach, where Corbin gave up 22 home runs this year, and Snell gave up 6.
Yeah. Where did I have that at?
He gave up 25%, percent of the home runs that Burns did. And to me, if you can bring that low home run total to Camden Yards, I'm all for that.
I'd also like to see where Burns' lie if you just don't. I know he had probably 6 really awful weeks or bad weeks, not really awful compared to other pitching and especially around baseball, but like those 6 weeks where he was bad. If you took just 4 of those, take 1 month of it away, I'd like to see what
Just
his
take
numbers
August
look
away.
like.
August was the only really bad month.
It was.
Yeah.
That lost him to Cy Young, in my opinion. Was just those. What was I was it 8 bad starts?
And that was the month after the birth of his twins.
I
Yeah.
believe so. Because
Yep.
he
So,
had the
'Cause he
twins
had
during
it-
the All-Star game, right? Which
Yep,
was their
during the
July
All-Star break, yep,
19th.
yep.
Yeah.
During
and
the
that's
All-Star
when
break.
he was trying to fly to Arizona and back in between games and
Yep. Makes
all that
sense.
craziness.
Definitely makes
was.
sense.
It was definitely craziness, that's for sure.
I know all about it.
I personally think that as much as we want Corbin back, with how much it means to him to be close to home, and now that he's a father, it wouldn't surprise me if he went to the Diamondbacks, just based on proximity.
It's fair.
Or
Or
somewhere out west.
one of the LA teams, most likely the Dodgers before anybody, before the Angels, but with him, it just seemed like that travel and that wanting to be there just absolutely sucked the life out of him for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So I I'm trying to prepare myself, guys, and this is the God's honest truth. That last stretch of the year where we absolutely fell apart at the seams, when he reverted to having McCann as his every game catcher for seemingly his last 5 or 6 starts,
Mm-hmm.
and then the way we exited the playoffs, I knew, and I texted the group chat to you guys, like that was the last start we ever saw Corbin Burns make, was game 1 of the wild card series.
Yep.
At least as an Oriole. I've resigned myself to the fact that he's not coming back, and I hate to be doom and gloom on the show, but it's just cold hard facts. He's not going to be an Oriole. I hope everybody that's watching this understands that he's not going to be an Oriole anymore, and it's heartbreaking because he was electric for 4 out of 6 months of this year.
Yeah.
Well, and now the plot thickens too if we're not bringing McCann back.
Yeah, you're not going to bring his catcher back, and you're not going to be able to afford him.
Yeah.
Now I will be insanely pissed off if Corbin Burns is a Red Sox or a Yankee this time. You know, this coming season and beyond, I'd be upset. But Corbin Burns being a Dodger is not going to upset
Yeah.
me. Him being a Diamondback is not going to upset me, because at the end of the day, he's doing what we all thought he was going to do, and what we've been talking about he's going to do. There's no other way to slice that.
So what I was a little we talked about this a little bit prior. I was a little surprised. I shouldn't say surprised, because I feel like San Diego probably wants to keep him, but how Profar is just a straight up free agent. Hey, great year. Great year. He's going to get a top 10 MVP vote. I don't know what to say. The guy played on a $1 million contract this year. Obviously, he's going to surpass that. You would feel like you would want someone is going to sign him. Are they that confident that they're just going to re-sign him and he's not going to test the water, that you don't slap one of these tags on it? Or are they just worried about he's not worth $21 million and I don't want to pay him $21 million?
Double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Double-edged sword all the way.
Definitely.
They're probably thinking that nobody's going to give him that money. But at the same time, is he going to produce like that anywhere else? That
Right.
lineup is stacked. No matter how you look at it, when you're hitting in a lineup with Machado, Bogarts, Tatis, Kim,
Merrill.
Merrill, yeah, like they're going to have to throw to you, because they're not going to want to throw to 4 other guys.
Yeah.
So he's seeing the best selection of pitches he's probably ever seen in his career.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. I wouldn't take him here in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Because that might be fool's gold.
it was the first time he got a contract. So the
Yeah.
first time he did this, he got that pretty big deal in Colorado, and he got cut within like the first 3-4 months.
Exactly.
That's why he took a $1 million deal back in San Diego. But
That-
yeah, I mean, to your point, everybody around him probably helped.
Yeah, I mean, it's real easy to, I'm not saying playing baseball is easy, but in the terms of what we're talking about, Profar is going to look very good when he's hitting in that lineup where if you don't throw to him, you're going to throw to Tatis, you're going to throw to Merrill, you're going to have to throw to Bogarts, you're going to have to throw to Kim, you're going to have to throw to everybody. So the pitchers were just choosing who they were going to have to pitch to, and he benefited greatly from seeing pitches that he could hit.
Yeah.
They weren't pitching around him very much.
Speaking of the Padres, Zach, we got holidays coming up. You're gonna have to ask your cuz what he's drinking in his Kool-Aid because that dude's clutch factor is absolutely ridiculous.
Wasn't it?
That
Dude, it
team
was
needed a
insane.
hit. It was like, uh-oh, Jackson's at the plate. See ya.
Yeah. Mason Miller didn't even matter.
Unbelievable.
It was incredible to watch.
It was. He had a hell of a year. He is the runaway NL Rookie of the Year. I'm happy for him. He's a local guy. I know that's family to you, so
Yeah.
it was nice to see him ball out the way he did.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, even family aside, you got before I even knew that about Zach, you got to root for the kid. He's an Anne Arundel County boy. I mean,
Yeah.
come on now.
Yeah,
It was just a fun year. I mean, the whole NL. I mean, I read something the other day. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was like fourth as the rookie in the NL, and they said that his year was so good it would have won Rookie of the Year every year in the last 20 years. But he's not even going to be considered in the top 3 because that's how good the rookies were in the NL this year. It was incredible. It was fun to watch, honestly, because, and I commented on all the time how the youth of baseball is like reviving it, in my opinion, in the fan base. There's just so many good young players.
Yep. And then you got the Orioles, who half their focus from their PR team this year was the fact that our whole team loves playing with Legos. Trying, that's not trying to get the youth involved.
I don't even want to start talking about this shit again. I don't even want to. See,
we talked a little bit about the other night.
Yeah, we did because it was a goddamn playground in the clubhouse.
I like playgrounds too.
Yeah.
I did that on purpose because I like poking trig.
Yeah. Not to veer off the topic of baseball, but there's a report now that the Ravens are close to acquiring J.C. Horn from the Carolina Panthers. Cornerback. So they throw Clowney in the deal, we might be cooking. But back on track to baseball.
Does that mean Brandon Stevens walking?
No, that means Brandon Stevens can move to free safety, and we can get those god awful.
No, like he's a free agent at the end of the year, right?
Yeah,
obviously he's going to get paid, probably, right?
Somebody's going to pay him.
Yeah,
everybody overpays our defensive guys, but that's for
that's for another show.
Well, yeah,
it's for Daniel.
We know Brandon Stevens won't run into anything if he's walking because he doesn't turn his head around. So
yeah, we can't talk about football on a baseball show or we get yelled at by somebody.
Yeah. So here's an interesting one for you.
Ever so kindly,
Young Sung Kim from the Padres. Do you think they bring him back, or do you see if the Dodgers swing and miss on Willie Adames somehow? Do they go after Kim and move Mookie back to second base?
Yes, and that's the magical thing about Mookie is you can do whatever you want with him.
God, isn't that nice?
It doesn't matter where.
I'm going to do a little hot take here. It might be a little too hot. He might be the second best player of our generation.
It's not too much of a hot take.
Have you seen that graphic of his award of him standing in front of his award case?
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
And to think that he almost gave up the game of baseball to bowl.
For bowling.
Before he got called up, he was going to retire and go be a professional bowler because he still to this day apparently is one of the best bowlers in the world.
And nothing makes me happier than seeing him do this when the Red Sox traded him for a bag of baseballs.
Yeah.
Because the Red Sox, they're up there on my shit list.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he got his World Series there.
Yeah,
Two
He
of
got
them,
out of
did he?
town.
I think he got one there.
One there. Okay.
One there and
That's
two
right. Two with the
LA, I think.
Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be one of the all-time Dodger greats that didn't
Yeah.
get drafted there.
Yeah. I think
That's-
his numbers there have already eclipsed what he's done in Boston.
Yep, and that makes me happy.
Yeah.
I hated Mookie while he was a Red Sox, but I love Mookie now.
Oh, I used
Like,
to heckle him in left field. Mookie, you were Dookie.
Yeah.
It never worked out well.
it didn't because he destroyed us
They did every time.
nonstop, man.
And
He
it is
definitely
crazy
did.
that you phrase it that way, Zach, because I haven't ever really given it thought. But if you sit here and try to name someone of our generation,
You would have
that
always
we
went
would
with
rank-
Trout or maybe Pujols. Now potentially Soto, but like, whose resume outside of Pujols is better than Mookie's?
Barry Bonds.
Soto's would have been close. Yeah, Barry. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer before he went to.
When did he
San Francisco.
retire?
I think 2000.
Because it was definitely before Mookie, right?
Bonds. I think when did Bonds retire?
I want to say it was like 10.
I don't think it was that. He's been gone a minute.
2007.
7. Okay.
I know we were in high school when he retired. And he's the greatest hitter of all time. I don't care what anybody says.
Yes.
I argue with so many people on social media when they bring up Barry Bonds cheating, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah, okay.
if you are going to have David Ortiz in the Hall of Fame, you need to put Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame
100%.
because
I mean, he's literally the dude led the NL in OPS 9 times.
Yeah.
yes,
That's
and
9 years of baseball. He had the best OPS in the National League.
not only that, I just wish people would stop equating steroid use to power. You still have to have hand-eye coordination.
Bat speed. That's bat
Steroids
speed.
doesn't give you any of that.
No.
It just helps you recover from injuries a little bit quicker and put on a little bit more muscle.
Yeah.
But Bonds is a Hall of Famer in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Not
If
to
you-
mention it probably saved baseball, but
It did.
Yep.
But I'll die on this hill. And it's funny we're talking about this because this is a bullshit session. If you don't have Sosa, Bonds, McGuire, all those guys hitting 65, 70 home runs a year, baseball is dead right now.
Probably.
It's nowhere near what it is. And
No.
now I'm talking, and that's 20 some odd years ago now. But
Right. Our whole generation, basically.
our whole generation would have tuned baseball out if we weren't watching Sports Center at 11:30 every single night, waiting to see Bonds hit a home run into McCovey Cove.
Yeah.
It's egregious that he's not in. Same thing with
Yeah.
Pete Rose. That's
Mhm.
a different story. He broke some rules, but Bonds never tested positive as an active player,
Right.
and he's the home run king. He's, one of the best ever, to step in a batter's box, and pitchers feared him.
Dude,
was one of
does
the
someone
last-
ever break that?
No,
You don't think so?
they
700
can't
some
break
home
it
runs?
without being accused of the same thing that he's accused of.
True.
The only person that might get close to it might be Judge.
No, he's 33.
That's right.
He's
and
old. He came
I
up
forgot,
late.
I forgot he came up late.
Yeah.
See,
He couldn't
I don't-
hit. He couldn't hit.
What about
Shohei's 30,
Shohei?
isn't he?
yeah.
Isn't he?
If
I don't
Shohei-
know if he is.
I think Shohei might be
30. July 5th. Yep, turned 30. He could hit for another 10 years, though, so it's possible. If he hits at 40, he hits 400 more home runs. How many does he have?
Shohei right
He's only
now.
got 225. So that's even that. 400 is only at 625. That's how fucking incredible Bonds was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever gonna get.
Shohei can't hit 40 for the next 10 years. Now, he could probably hit 50 for a couple years, but hitting 40 in your late 30s is not easy.
And
It's
even
not
if you're
easy.
hitting 50, you got to hit 50 for 4 years to make up 1 year.
Right.
That's not. I mean,
Right.
And people forget the era in which Bonds did that. When you had Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine and Randy Johnson and Roger Clemens,
You had
Pedro
pitchers using
Pettit.
steroids to throw harder.
Yeah. But the thing is, they were pitchers. They weren't hard throwers. They were pitchers that amped up their velocity through steroids.
Yeah.
But Bonds would hit 900 home runs present day.
Probably in these small ballparks nowadays.
The
Yeah.
small ballparks, there's not really a lot of ace pitchers the way there was back then. You can count the aces on two hands, and the Athletics had 3 aces on their staff at one time, and so did the
Braves.
Braves.
And the Cubs had some good pitching back in the day. So did the Red Sox.
The Red Sox had fantastic pitching for a while. You know,
I'm sure the Dodgers did. I don't remember anybody back then, but I'm sure they weren't terrible.
I just want to piss off any potential Red Sox fans that are watching this. It's egregious that David Ortiz is a Hall of Famer, and I will die on that hill. If you want to screen grab and pull up his stats from Minnesota,
here, I'll do this,
to Boston, and the egregious difference and the longevity that he was hitting over 40 home runs, it's asinine to think that he didn't use steroids. He absolutely unequivocally 100% did, and I will die on that hill.
I love Big Papi, though.
It's okay to love him, but he was a steroid user.
I saw something interesting floating around as name a player from, a rival. So name someone that you like, but you're not supposed to like, and you don't tell your friends that you like them. And
Dustin Pedroia, that's me.
Oof.
There you go. I don't know why I'd shared it like that, but actually, hold on. Let me fix it because that's just terrible looking. I need to take a screenshot of it. But I'm with you, Matt.
Tool.
Yeah. I'm completely with you at this point.
Barry Bonds isn't in the Hall of Fame because he didn't kiss the media. He didn't want.
For sure.
He was a terrible interview and all that.
There you go.
Okay. See,
162 WAR to 55.
Yep.
And he hit 221 more home runs than him.
Yep. And he stole 514 bases.
And had a higher average.
I mean, look at the bottom part.
So I will say, the 3 championships is probably why David's there, right? And being an MVP in one of them.
Yeah.
That definitely helps.
But I mean, he's a likable guy. That's the only difference between these two. He's a likable guy, and Barry Bonds hated the media because he had 57 tape recorders and microphones in front of his face during that home run chase.
Yep. That's insane to hit 298.
A damn near 300 hitter.
In almost 3,000 games. That's incredible. I mean, I'm not even taking anything away from Ortiz. I mean, hitting 286 in 2,500 games almost is incredible itself. But, whew.
A 7-time National League MVP.
Holy shit! I didn't even realize that.
An 8-time Gold Glove winner. 12 Silver Sluggers, 14 All-Star appearances.
Wow.
And the man played the outfield in the entirety of his career, even when he could barely run. It's not like he switched to first base or went to the AL to be a DH.
Yeah,
they are. It's a joke. The NFL Hall of Fame is a complete joke because Art Modell isn't there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jerry. Better defensively too. I didn't realize he was that bad. Phew.
It's crazy. It is absolutely insane that Barry Bonds is still waiting to get in.
I want to see.
And I know he's not older. I think he's got to be voted in on like a senior committee or something now.
You'll like this one.
This is fun. I can air out my grievances on this show.
You'll like this one.
David Ortiz is the worst player on that screen by a long shot.
It sucks to see that Bonds never won a championship though out of those 4.
But
That's
think
not
about
his
that.
fault, obviously,
Okay,
but
think about those teams for years, though. Other than Barry Bonds and Jeff Kent, who did they have?
yeah, they
What
didn't
were
have
they
much
doing?
pitching.
They had no pitching, and they were walking Bonds at least twice a night. Some nights.
The argument could be said for Trout.
Maybe. I
If
mean,
Jackson
God,
Holiday doesn't move to center field and we don't go with Cowser, let's go get that guy.
Mookie.
I
No,
knew I
no,
was
no,
going to
no,
get
no,
you
no.
started on that.
Trout.
Oh,
I set that fishing hook out there for a reason.
Yeah,
I would love
and
Trout, but they're not paying him $25 million over the next 7 years.
of course not. But wouldn't it make sense to put? Imagine Trout playing in this ballpark for 81 games.
I don't want him to. I want him to DH.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't play outfield anymore.
No. I would be perfectly fine. Or move his chunky ass to first base.
Maybe. I just don't want him playing the field. I don't even want him to run.
No,
Just hit and walk.
That's what Kobe Mayo's for. First
Yeah.
base.
Oh yeah, Kobe Mayo. I forgot.
The generational.
Actually, when you really look at these, it's really incredible to look at Pujols having almost 2,200 RBIs.
Yeah, and what does Ortiz have?
1768. It's cut off for some reason.
Yeah, 1768. Bonds had
So Mookie's played 1,100 less games than these guys. Whew.
yeah.
Jeez.
Ortiz doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. That makes the Hall of Fame the Hall of above average.
Well, yeah. But look
And
at that, though. He's played 1,100 less games and already has tied for the most championships. He's probably going to break the All-Stars. At least he's going to beat Pujols. He'll make at least 3 more. I don't know if he'll win another MVP, though.
5.
Maybe.
He might get there with.
He'll get old eventually.
But the thing is, he's going to get old eventually, but the Dodgers fans pack the All-Star voting.
Yeah. True.
Now, let me say something else about asshole Ortiz. Let me say something else. Look at the lineups he hit in for years.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
Manny, Damon, Pedroia, Euclid, Baratek. That's a lot of protection behind and in front.
Dude, Trout was so good.
Yeah, like, come on, like he's a lovable Hispanic dude on TV that jokes around and kikis and ha-has with and rubs elbows with the media, and that's all he does. He should not be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know what? But Big Papi laughs in the face of pressure.
Here's another one for you.
And again, he's the worst player on the screen.
Just barely beats Judge for WAR. Just barely.
I don't even like Aaron Judge, and I think he's better than Ortiz.
I think people quickly forgot how good Mike Trout was. 378 home runs in only 200 games more.
Look at that.
Old Trot Nixon. I played against Trot Nixon. That was fun. He hit like 4 home runs against us.
Trot Nixon, that's a throwback name.
Yeah, when he was with the Mets, he was in a rehab assignment and hit 4 home runs against us. It was pretty funny. But he was a nice guy. He bought us lunch afterwards. Kick our ass and buy us lunch.
That's very polite.
Yeah.
Trout with the $2.99 lifetime over Barry.
Yeah, isn't that incredible?
It's 1 percentage point, isn't it?
I mean, it's a lot less games too. I mean, you're looking at 1,400 less games.
A lot less, yeah. A lot.
Barry Bonds might still be playing if they would have done the National League DH like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a video yesterday on Twitter. Ichiro was taking a BP at a high school and was still hitting them out at 53 with a wood bat.
I think I saw that with the wood bat, yeah.
It was incredible.
Ichiro might be the greatest import player
ever.
Shohei's
Ohtani has more home runs, obviously.
He's got a long way to go, though.
Yeah.
And I think this gambling thing is always going to be a dark cloud over Ohtani, no matter what he does.
Yeah.
The Ichiro is pretty much as pristine as you can get.
Do you think Mookie gets that World Series MVP if Freddie Freeman doesn't have 6
Yes.
consecutive games with a home
Yes.
Absolutely, but Freddie Freeman was hitting the ball out of the ballpark every night.
Yeah.
So, color me shocked that he won
Actually,
World
I'm
Series
gonna
MVP.
I'm gonna take out Trout. I'm gonna take out Judge, and let me put in Freddie Freeman. See if he's better than David.
run? Not
They're
even
all
close.
better than David. Let's just call it that. They're all better than David.
Matt, you might be right. You just might be right. You have a legitimate argument here, Matt.
I do, and it's even though it's based in anger, it's still right because I factually backed it up.
Freddie Freeman is better than David Ortiz in 400 less games.
See, he is. Yeah.
Now, granted, Freddie Freeman with the 2 championships is a first ballot Hall of Famer, potentially, probably unanimous, but still.
I'm going to bring Nick Moore on our show one night just so I can show him how shitty David Ortiz is compared to everybody else.
Is he a Red Sox fan?
He played with the Red Sox.
Oh, did he? Nice.
I think he was in their minor league system.
I feel like we could play this game all night. Manny Machado better than David Ortiz.
I think I do remember seeing that.
Ichiro better be the first position player with 100%. Oh, he should be. There's no doubt.
I might have played against Nick.
I'm almost positive Nick Moore was the Boston Red Sox.
No, by the time he would have made it up to the league that I was in, I was out of baseball. He didn't get up there until 12, and I was out after the 11th season.
Yeah, because he's like 31, and he's only been in the NFL for like 4 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was drafted at 18, and he was done when he was 21. The same thing I did. Had just missed him by a year.
Hayden Hurst did the same thing with the Yankees, right? Or the Pirates?
Something like he was drafted, but I don't think he signed, though.
Okay. I thought he played minor league baseball, though.
Might have. I've heard the story, Joe. I may not have heard it 100% correctly, but I've heard something about
Nick
it.
talked about that on one of the interviews I did with him.
Really?
Yeah. He had a hand in keeping Mookie from quitting.
Would he go beat him and throw a bowl of 300 or something and tell Mookie he wasn't shit?
I don't know.
That's funny.
But Nick's probably the greatest long snapper in Ravens history.
That's bold.
I don't know any other. Oh.
You don't remember the dude that signed for like $3 or $4 million after he left here after like 14 years? God, the hell's his name? It was the original trio.
Oh, Morgan Cox.
Morgan Cox.
Cox.
They wore the same number.
Yeah.
Yep. Morgan Cox.
Is he still playing?
No, I think he retired from the Titans a couple of years ago because he went home.
He's still playing.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's 39 years old and he's with Tennessee still.
He played till like 51. So
yeah.
Tim, I want to say I've been looking at you for like the last 5 seconds. The mustache is coming along just fine.
Nice.
It is.
Why can't you grow the rest of your beard like that?
I've been growing my beard for 33 years.
When I get to this point right here, I hate it. It starts to itch. I'm such a girl. It's fine.
I remember my first beer.
I know. I don't, but
I don't think anybody from St. Joe does.
Yeah.
I literally cannot grow a beard.
All right, let's get back on a little track here. Gleyber Torres, where does he go, and does he sign for more than $5 million a year?
Anywhere but here. Go. I don't care.
I think he gets more than $5 million.
Where?
I think he does too.
I'm gonna throw a dark horse at you. Kansas City.
I was gonna say like the White Sox or not the Tigers, but I was thinking
Tigers could use him, honestly.
They could. I think anything's an upgrade from Javi Baez at this point. I'm pretty sure I could play second base better.
Do they bring him back? Like they went on that run when he got hurt.
I think if they want to keep on going on that run, they just keep him around and let him be hurt.
You're paying him a lot of money. If you're just going to keep him around to be hurt, just send him home.
Yeah, but I mean,
Just
they
keep him
weren't-
out of your locker room.
Yeah.
That's a good spot for him though. Detroit, Kansas City. I don't know too many other teams.
Cincinnati.
They need everything. So potentially,
Cincinnati.
who plays second in Boston? Nobody any good. There you go. I think it's that young guy though.
The Brewers.
If they lose Adamas, yeah, they're gonna need something.
Because if they're letting Adamas qualify and he gets eaten up, because I think he's going to be one of the hottest ones out of all that whole list.
Yeah.
They're going to need something.
Where do you see
And-
Shane Bieber going?
Oof.
The Baltimore Orioles.
God, I hope so. That's my number one guy.
That'd be something, wouldn't it?
That's my number one guy. Give him a one-year deal. Him and Kendall Graveman.
You've been talking about Kendall Graveman for months now.
I like him.
It might have been a couple weeks, but it feels like it's been months.
I think it's been a couple weeks, but yeah.
Better be careful not to tweet that out, though, because then JLC will say that he's been talking about him for months.
Yeah. I forget who I was the other day.
He's been talking about everybody for months. I can't. Don't get me started on him. Don't you?
I tuned in today for like the first time, and he was very calm. I was very surprised.
Yeah, because he has nothing to yell about. The Ravens just smoked the Broncos yesterday, and
Yeah.
We haven't lost all of our free agents with the Orioles yet. So
Yeah.
he has no reason to scream into the mic and damn near have a heart attack. So.
Do you guys follow that MLB executive burner account?
Yes.
Yes.
So he messaged me the other night, and he's like, "Stop talking about Grachik." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I really like Grachik." He goes, "I do too, and I don't want him to go to the Orioles." He's like, "I need you to stop talking about it." And I was like, "Okay."
Very fair.
Yeah. I don't know who he's a fan of, but I don't know.
JLC did get a little bit running hot today, though, after the qualifying offer news, because he was, of course, complaining about the silence from the Orioles front office over the last 2 weeks, and saying that
Of course he
was.
What do you want him to say? Like, what do you want him to say? Do you want him to just say, "Oh, hey, a week ago we gave up on trying to sign these guys, and we're just going to give them a qualifying offer"? Or do you say it 10 minutes before the deadline, and then, at least you looked like you tried? Like, you can't complain about that.
He's going to cry no matter what.
I get it.
He's going to cry no matter what they do. We could re-sign Burns.
Does he go clicky, clicky, clicky?
Blaine Knight. Why do I know that name?
We didn't touch on this on air, or did we? I don't know. It's all merging together, but the Danny Coulomb situation.
We haven't talked about that yet. I thought we were going to.
Yeah, that's I don't understand it.
Is Brooks anti-Jason too?
I think everybody is.
No, I have a disdain for Jason Lockenfor. I like if
I need to get RDT in here.
If I could just box him and not go to jail, I'd do it.
We could turn it into a podcast, couldn't we?
But if you told me I could either punch Brandon Hyde or Jason Lockenfor, I would have a internal struggle.
Joe, I'll answer that question, and it's from football. Back when people thought that he had
500,000 followers,
Jason does. Yeah, used to. Back when he was a reporter and would break news for football, people followed him. I did too back in the day.
I remember watching him on CBS when he was like the insider.
Yeah.
I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Excuse my language. This is the first time I dropped the F-bomb. I apologize. But I was like, who is this dude? He's not Adam Schefter. He's not Mike Met. None of those guys.
I was going to tag him in that, Brooks. That would have been funny. But I'm pretty sure it's just like a paperwork job. Probably thinks it's beneath him.
Yeah, I sent you guys that as soon as it came out.
Yeah.
Along with the scouting job, Zach.
I know. I was going to do the analytical one, but then when I realized that I had to fly to the Dominican a couple times a month, I was like, yeah, my wife will tell me no for that real quick. Because you're not going for a day or two. It's, it's a week or two.
Yeah,
life gets a little tough when you got 3 kids.
Danny Coulomb, nervous, or is there a deal
yes,
in the works?
I am.
I mean,
I want to hear Zach. I want to hear Zach's.
I don't understand it. Like, it was $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
Like, somebody said that on Twitter. They were like, "Oh, it's all the surgeries he's had." Like he had bone chips removed, and I think he had something in his hip like 5 years ago. He's not getting surgery all the time. He's a hard worker. He was a great clubhouse guy. He was a great teammate, and he was $2 million. Like,
Yes, it was.
I don't understand that. You could have gave him the 2 million and then extended it. Like, it's not like that you got to pay above the 2 million. No, that 2 million goes into the contract. It's
Like-
just called an extension for a reason. Like,
All
I
these
don't know.
moves screamed Andy McPhail.
They did.
Every single one of them.
They did.
It's like
I didn't like Soto. I mean, Dominguez at $8 million.
Yep. How do you justify Dominguez at $8 million versus you could get 4 Danny Coulombs for that price?
Right.
And then Danny
Right.
Coulomb is going to go hit the market, and then he's going to go.
He's going to
sign
the
with
Yankees.
team.
He's
Yep.
going to the Yankees.
Yes, he is. And then
Like-
we're going to.
And if it's not the Yankees, it's going to be the Dodgers.
Yeah,
gonna
or
go
like the
somewhere.
Padres or somebody
Yeah.
like that.
And he's going to give him quality innings.
Yep, and he's not going to be relied on nearly as much, and he's going to be paid a lot more money for it
Yep.
because
Somewhere
we
with
worked
that
him
blue
to
glove.
death to the point that he needed to have bone chips removed out of his elbow.
Now, if they know like something in the medicals that maybe he's starting to get close to having an issue, okay.
But the
It's
thing
been.
is-
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Zach. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying it's been proven that the Orioles stay freaking silent about everything. So we're never gonna know, obviously. It's a
We're
head
not
scratcher.
going to know. We're not going to know. But the thing is, if it comes out that he, is going to need another surgery eventually, okay, I can understand that.
Yeah.
But this is the same team that's keeping John Means employed.
Not yet. He's still a free agent. But I think
you
they're
know
gonna
what I
give him a
mean.
3. I think they gave him a 3-year deal. We talked about that the other
We-
night.
But that's what I'm saying. How we've kept Means employed the last 5 years, and he has missed 3 of the seasons
Yeah.
for one thing or another. Like, come on, you can't tell me Means is worth keeping around, but Coulomb isn't.
Yeah, they're the same person to me. Like, just a good person, a good teammate. They pitched well when they were healthy. Like, I didn't get it at all. Like, I
And
would
meanwhile,
trust
we keep
Danny
CNL
Coulomb with
Perez.
I was getting to that. I would have trust Danny Coulomb well over Perez. And I like Perez at times, but Danny was like rock solid for the last 2
You
years.
knew what you were getting with Danny every time he hit the mound.
Every time.
Yep.
With CNL, you don't know if he was going to be locked in CNL or if he was going to be the one that's giving up meatballs down the middle
Yep.
and getting shelled by 3-4 batters, and all of a sudden a 2-run lead turns into a 4-run deficit.
You might be right, Joe. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, like $4 million is not much. Not much at all.
And that just surprised me with not even knowing a price point on that, knowing that it couldn't have been too much regardless, and
It's $4
what he
million. He
brought-
was right. Yep.
what he brought to the team and the kind of guy he was, clubhouse guy he was.
Yeah.
It's just it baffled me for sure. I'd like to think that maybe something's in the works behind the scenes, and I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I get it. Look, he's 35. I understand. I don't know. You better replace him with somebody good. That's all I'm going to say. It
Not
better
Strand-
be Clay Holmes or Yates or Graveman or Tanner Scott. It better be a B or an A tier player, because I would put Danny Coulomb as a B tier pitcher in that bullpen and the situations that he got himself out of all the time.
What about going to Philly and asking them what they want for Strom?
Strom was he made available today? Was it Strom? No, it was Bohm.
I don't know. They made half their team available today for Juan Soto. So
Yeah.
Juan
Strom,
Soto hitting
yeah.
in the same lineup as Bryce Harper is going to be wild.
It'd be fun.
dude,
Yeah.
Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, like, ugh.
That's why I would get rid of
Don't
Bohm.
we got Real Muto also?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you want to get rid of Bohm? Like, who do you have else? Unless you plan on going after Adames or something like that, put him at third. Like, I don't know. I would keep that guy. I thought he was good.
Trading blue pinstripes for red. It's a damn shame.
I will take it though.
You're not, yeah.
I want to see the Yankees fans
Suffer.
cry, and I
Me
want to
too.
see them suffer.
That's why I was praying for a sweep, just so they could feel pain.
So was I. I was so hoping that there was gonna be a sweep.
Yeah.
I wanted it bad, but at least they lost it at home.
Yeah, that made me happy. Seeing the Dodgers jump up and down in the middle of the Yankees ballpark, it was nice.
Yeah, it was great. That was great. All right. Walker Buehler.
Yes.
Where's he going?
Los Angeles Dodgers.
You think he's going back?
I think he's going back.
4.98 ERA in the second half.
Doesn't matter. He closed that
Especially
series.
that World Series performance where he comes out and just closes the door. Slams
He,
it
Yeah,
shut.
he looked good.
He slammed that door shut very hard.
He did. He looked good.
He looked good. He's got his confidence back. They're gonna give
Do you
him.
think somebody outbids for him?
I think they do, but I don't think he goes
Yeah.
unless it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the Dodgers could potentially be posturing to be a 2-3 year repeat here.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're getting Glass now back, Kershaw. Depends if they want to bring Bueller back.
well,
they could sign Burns.
yeah, if they sign Burns and they bring back Kershaw and Bueller, what's that make their rotation?
It's good.
Very good. And then you're talking about
Ridiculous.
You'll
Shohei
have Burns at 1 and or Glass now. So we'll say 1 and 2. And then you'll have probably Kershaw. And then
Shohei might pitch next year.
Shohei would probably be your 4. And then Bueller at your 5.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
They might flip-flop Shohei and Kershaw. Kershaw getting a little bit older, but he's still effective.
Yeah, he's still Clayton Kershaw.
But out of respect, they'll probably still put him at 3.
You could pitch Shohei once every other 5-man rotation, and that's still a ridiculous rotation.
Yeah.
You could pitch Shohei 15 or I don't care where Jack Flaherty goes.
I could see him going back to Detroit. They're on the cusp.
Yeah.
Pitched well there. He got along with everybody.
In his mouth.
I'm not a Flaherty guy.
Yeah.
He rubbed me the wrong way last year.
Yeah, me too.
That to me is when we traded for him, I thought that it was going to be okay, but like when they were talking about him coming back here potentially on a trade deadline move this past year.
Yeah.
Zach, I know that you follow along for foul ball talk all the time, but Tim and I were both like, nah, hard pass.
Yeah.
I mean, supposedly too, you can base that just on the fact that he was apparently very toxic for the clubhouse. So
yeah, which one dude, I mean, you got to get some good people in this clubhouse to get rid of this mentality that they got.
what mentality? There isn't any.
It's a frat house.
That's a mentality.
It's a frat house, Tim.
I like to party.
I don't know if it's because I detest like 20 somethings and now that we're all in our mid 30s. Well, I don't know if Tim.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, that. And then the thing is, I've talked to a couple players. Like when you have Legos all around the clubhouse, like legitimately like Lego tables everywhere, and you have the game room, you have the video games, you have all the stuff that a normal clubhouse has. But then you have a nap room in the clubhouse.
Wish I had that at work.
Like you're coming to work and you're taking a nap, and some of the players aren't leaving the nap room until 90 minutes before first pitch.
Yeah,
Like
that's a little ridiculous.
That is a little ridiculous. And I'm not saying that is like hyperbole or like I've legitimately talked to players that have been around that, and they're like, yeah, that's what's going on.
Yeah,
and that sucks.
I don't know. Golden Tea's fucking awesome.
Golden Tea's fine. If you want to put that in a locker room and, maybe like a ping pong table because you're staying active, but like having a nap room, like that's when it becomes a little too much.
And I'm circling this conversation back to the man in charge.
Me too. It's always their fault.
But I'm not saying that because I don't like him. I'm saying that because you are the leader of the team.
Right, you're in charge.
It is your team.
Yeah.
And we saw what happens when you let the inmates run the asylum.
Yep.
It was anarchy.
And you just erased 60% of the coaching staff. whatever it is. It's like 42%,
Yeah.
something
Huh.
like that.
You fire everybody that had something to do with the shit that you were in charge of. And I'll die on this hill. I died on this hill on the last show we did, Zach. Francona was there for the taking.
Yep.
Terry Francona makes us a World Series contender as a manager. Brandon Hyde does not. Brandon Hyde is better off offering his services to any major league team that wants to tank the next 3 or 4 years and you want to trot out 4A baseball players. Brandon Hyde's your guy. But not with a major league team stacked with studs everywhere.
No, Joe.
Y-
No.
Yeah, I don't think so
No.
either.
So
He might get a camp invite somewhere, but I don't see him having a
I
spot.
want to share this. This shocked me, and I think I would rather have him than Paul DeJong. Look at that average. 280, 263, 283, 280, 252, 287, 256. Home runs are low, that's fine, but you're looking at a right-handed hitter that gets on base.
I don't need another right-handed power hitter that's gonna not get on base at all.
Yeah.
'Cause if you want to have that, we'll just keep.
I shouldn't say he
Mountcastle.
gets on base. Look at these walks. They're terrible compared to his K rate. But he's got a little speed. I mean, we're talking about a fifth infielder, right?
Yeah,
I would take him. I think he just got released. Yeah, he's a free agent. He just made $1.5 million last year. That's an upgrade over Ramon Urias if I've ever seen one. And I'm a Urias guy. I like him. But I would take Rosario.
And what's scary to think is that Urias had some of the higher clutch hits down the stretch.
Yeah.
And if you upgrade to Rosario with that, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah.
Especially for pennies.
I liked Urias. He played great for us. I had zero issues whatsoever. But this is what I like here. Oh, I gotta take a picture. I forgot. Stupid. All right. I'll go back to this. He's a good ball player.
Mm-hmm.
He gets hits, got some home run pop, got some RBIs. He can run. The batting average is obviously higher, but that this is where your Ramon is better, is taking walks and driving the ball more consistently. But
where did Rosario win a World Series?
Dodgers. No.
Ah.
Where did he win it at?
Was he a Brave?
The Mets. He was with the Mets. Was he the Mets or Cleveland? When did Cleveland win it last?
Didn't Cleveland win against the Chicago Cubs?
Yeah, but when?
What was that like 21?
2016. That's how long ago that was.
Jesus
Holy
Christ.
crap.
Oh my god.
And not to mention, if you're looking at these numbers, he's played 600 more games than Ramon.
Yeah. So you're looking at a veteran.
I'll take it.
He must have played a hold on.
And playing in Tampa Bay, he knows the division.
Right. Did he win it there?
He probably did.
Yeah, why is he not on this? He must have got traded. Let's see if it'll tell me here. Oh, that's right. He started with the Mets. He's with he got one this year because he started with the Dodgers. He played 5 games with the Dodgers, so he wins the championship ring.
Oh, yep.
I think they need to change that rule.
Yeah. And then he was 76 games with Tampa after that, and then they got rid of him, and then Cincinnati the last 22.
I think you need to play at least half the season with a team to get a World Series ring.
Yeah.
Not playing like a single game. Because there's a dude on the White Sox that got a World Series ring this year.
Yeah. Played a couple games.
Yeah. While we're on the subject of rules, did you see the Yankees are bitching about the deferred contracts not affecting the luxury tax?
Yeah. Yeah, because they don't know how to do it.
Nope, they
Mhm.
don't.
That's not anybody else's problem.
I mean, but the Dodgers are going to be paying everybody until 2070, so
Yeah,
that's their
what's
fault.
Shohei's deal? 40 years or something like that. How many years deferred? It's
I mean,
absurd.
I think we already started paying Chris Davis his deferred money.
We did. We did. He
To
was
actually
actually like
talk
the
on that, Joe,
fourth.
everyone in the organization actually gets a ring. Now, like if you're a minor leaguer that never played in the big leagues, you get a different style of ring. It's obviously not as big and as many diamonds and such, but the entire organization down to the clubhouse guys, the janitor, blah, 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 you name it, everybody gets a ring.
Grounds crew, everything.
Everybody.
I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. If you're an
Yeah.
employee and you're there,
Even
But
the
like
ushers in the
he
stadium
helps
get a
5
thing.
games for the big league club. Like he'll get a full size ring.
which is that,
It sounds dumb, but like guys have
that's
played
asinine.
3 innings for a team before and still get a ring.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure.
1 billion from deals in Japan.
Dude, I was reading about that. I don't even remember the name already, but whatever they put on the helmets.
Oh, I looked them up. They're like
It's a German something, right?
yeah, it's what's it called? Protectional equipment, but there's a name for it. Personal PPE, personal
PPE.
protective equipment. Yeah.
Okay. So
Strauss.
So they're now all that shit is going on minor league helmets every game. They paid almost $100 million for that.
To have Strauss on during the postseason.
Yeah. You think Major League Baseball would come in and fix the roof in Tampa?
Especially since the team's not going to have anywhere to play.
Just move them out of Tampa, for Christ's sake.
Just do something. You just made $100 million to put an effing sticker on a helmet, and you didn't do a damn thing with it.
Nothing. And I mean, more power to that company for using that as an advertising ploy, but it's a foreign company that your average consumer. It'd be different if it said like Keurig on the side or something. But
Oh
like
no! From what I read, that their sales have went up $18 million just since the wild card round.
that's because everyone like me Googled it, and all the
Yeah,
small business owners are like, "Oh, I can get my personal protective equipment from here."
yeah.
Yep.
Where?
$18 million. It's gone up in less than a quarter. Isn't that incredible?
It is.
I'm in the
It
wrong
shows you
business.
how many people are watching baseball.
Yeah. Well, the wild card rounds were great. Every single series except for the Orioles was exceptional, in my opinion. Exceptional baseball was played throughout October.
And
I
I
can't-
honestly,
yeah.
my viewership didn't fall off until the World Series. After the Dodgers took 2 games, then I was like, "Yeah, it's over."
See, I'm the opposite. I didn't after the Orioles got swept. I didn't watch anything until the World Series.
I didn't either. My wife was texting me upstairs like, "Oh, hey, your cousin's up," and I'm like, "Oh, okay. I guess I'll walk up for that." And then I come back down here.
Yeah, I like the Orioles getting swept for the second straight postseason left such a bitter taste in my mouth. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna watch any more baseball.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
even gonna
usually
watch
how I
it.
am. And I'm the same with football too, though. Like once the Ravens are out, I'm so bitter and I hate John Harbaugh so much that I'm just done.
That's how I am.
I've been on the fire hide train for a while now, but I will say this: Harbaugh, as much as he pisses me off, he's been a hell of a coach this year.
I give him a 70 grade.
Like like the way he's bounced back
Yeah.
after the losses, and he was actually making good challenges, and he didn't infuriate me this week.
Well, I think because he hasn't talked as much. That's what pisses me off is just listening to him speak. When he
Well,
like beats around the bush and he's like,
injury report comes
yeah. Like, dude, just shut the hell up and tell us the guy's out for 6 weeks. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I mean,
That's my biggest gripe with Harbaugh. That and he forgets he has a running back in January.
well, you can't forget you have this coming January because
Yeah, this one's pretty tall. You can't look over this one.
this man, he's got 1,052 yards right now.
That doesn't mean anything, John Harbaugh in
I know
January.
it doesn't mean anything right to John Harbaugh sometimes, but if he keeps on running the way he's running, you're talking about a 2,200-yard man.
Yeah.
So
I was trying. I know you couldn't read it last night when I was talking about it. I'm okay with Keaton taking carries away from Derek right now.
I'm okay with it too. You got to preserve him.
Keep him healthy. Keep his legs healthy.
Preserve him 100%.
Because you're going to get to a point eventually where, and we've been watching the Lions do it a lot this year. Teams are going to start getting a little pissy, and they're going to on the ground. They're going to start trying to roll the ankles while they're holding on and stuff. Just keep him healthy.
Yeah.
Give him 10,
I mean,
12
But
runs
see,
a game.
Here's the thing that I like to think about is that championship teams in the past, and we can go 15 years, 20 years ago, the MO has always been let your quarterback go out there and throw the ball for the first quarter, open it up, show the defense, hey, we can pass the ball around, get out to a lead, and then you run the freaking ball down their throat with your badass running back for the rest of the game. That's how you win. That's how you win
Yeah.
Super Bowls.
let's keep talking football so Tim gets yelled at later.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Luckily, there's no Go football team comments on the stream.
So I will say, Riverside really struggles with pushing to Facebook.
It
Like
does.
it's on Facebook, but I think because Facebook has really weird rules about streaming above 720 unless you have met so much criteria, they don't push it out when you're streaming in 1080. I've learned that now. And I'm pretty sure StreamYard and Restream both know that, and they downscale it to 720, and that's why it works.
Well, I mean, that's looking out for your consumers.
I also like how on StreamYard, when it lets everyone connect it to their socials so that people on my page don't just see a link and have to go click the link to navigate to it. They just
Oh man, they
scrolling in.
got to do one more step to watch us.
Yeah, but it's better than
God
bang,
damn.
look, here's their live. It's already live. There's their three faces. Congrats.
I mean, yeah, I like StreamYard. They just priced me out the door, man.
Yeah, but they still do everything else the best. I'm only trying this one tonight just to see, like I was telling you guys earlier, just to see if the magic AI makes these clips a little easier for me to cut up.
True. Who are we kidding? We'll all be back on StreamYard in a week.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
That's true.
But actually, it wasn't just me, Matt. Remember I was telling you about the whole 720 thing with Restream? Cam Bryce actually texted me earlier, and he's like, I can't get my Restream to get out of 720. He's like, do you have any tips? And I was like, we just went through that the other night, and I canceled it right after that. And he's like, I'm going to cancel it too.
It makes sense.
I don't know what the hell's going on with Restream. It never used to be like that. But that was $45 a month. I'm not paying $45 a month to stream in 720. I can tell you that.
Absolutely not.
Is he going to show us his baseball card now?
I got a nice Gem Mint 10 back today, fresh off the PSA.
Who's that?
Gunner.
We saw you putting it up. We saw you putting it up in your academy. I was like, he knows we can't see that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it came from just got it in the mail today from PSA.
Nice. Very nice.
That was a personal.
My wife would kill me if I started collecting memorabilia.
Me too.
I don't have any.
Kill me if I even started golfing.
I can't do golf.
Me either.
I
can't start anything without like doing a fuck ton of research and then like going out and buying like really nice stuff because I'm a buy it once kind of person. I don't even want to try golf.
Yeah.
Do we see Albert Suarez in an Orioles uniform?
You got to.
Yeah, he's under. He's got 2 more years arbitration.
Okay, yeah, we're protected by that.
You got to bring Al back.
Yeah, that's what they said about Danny.
He'll be in the bullpen.
Oh, he'll definitely be in the bullpen. But I mean, he earned a roster spot for next year, more so than a lot of people in the pitching staff.
Do you think they allow McDermott or Brandon Young to fight for a spot in spring training?
I would hope they do with McDermott, but I don't see it.
I don't think they're going to with McDermott. I think that they're going to have Povich on a very short leash too.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like incredibly short.
Yeah.
I don't see how we go. I don't see how you go into the season with. Yes.
Yeah, probably with him opting out today, I do think his name is going to be slightly popular.
I said his name last March,
Yeah.
last February.
When I saw the list today, that name jumped right off the piece
Tim,
of paper. Right. You've been saying it, Matt. You have.
all last off season.
He's like he's not dominant in the regular season though. Like I
Doesn't
think
matter.
fans are when we sign him, fans are going to have to be ready for that. That he's going to probably give you at this point in his career a 4 to a 4.5 ERA, which is okay.
But if he's a
when
monster in
October
the
comes,
postseason,
yeah, when October comes, it's the same as Kike Hernandez. Kike Hernandez is a 220 career hitter, but the damn dude is a 285 hitter career in the postseason. Like it just a flip switches. I don't know if our fan base will fully grasp that with Eovaldi.
Zach said a flip switches.
I said that again.
Yeah.
I did that the other day.
I didn't correct you though.
A switch flips. A flip switches.
A switch hitter.
Sure.
No, but
the group chat got a little uncomfortable earlier.
Eovaldi big on it, but I think so is half of the league.
Yeah.
I would like to see Eovaldi. I was banging on the table for him last offseason.
Yeah,
and
I wouldn't be shocked if the Yankees give him 2 for 40 or 2 for 35.
It wouldn't shock me either. I don't want to see him in October though.
No.
He's kind of
Yankees
like
are in trouble. We talked about the Yankees are in trouble. Even
Yes,
even
they are.
bringing Cole back, they're still in trouble.
They are, and it's gonna have a lot to do with the fact that Juan Soto is going to be playing somewhere else next year. And
I think a lot
can't
of us forgetting too is the Astros. They have 2 legit spots to fill. Verlander's out the door.
I would take Verlander for a year.
I don't know, man. He had a 6 ERA this year.
I don't care.
I'm over the 1 year nonsense after what's about to happen to me.
I want young guys.
I agree with
Younger.
you. Hear me out, guys. Hear me out. Verlander or Scherzer. If you went to them and gave them a decent amount of money, and you said, "I don't need you to come in here and be an ace, but I need you to come in here and
pitch
and just be a pitcher and be an example for the rotation and the bullpen, and kind of be that veteran presence that some of these young 20-somethings need." Give me Verlander or Scherzer.
It's fair.
100%.
I'd take Scherzer over Verlander, I feel like.
But but the thing is, they have pedigree to their name.
Yeah. They know what to do, and they know what it takes.
When Scherzer or Verlander opens their mouth in that clubhouse, they would have to listen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a militant kind of thing or like they're my elder, but when those type of guys speak, you're gonna perk your ears up a little bit, because right now, even though Burns was good this year, very good this year, Burns doesn't have that kind of aura to him to where he's gonna be a clubhouse leader. I think he was by proxy because he was one of the only 30-something that was in the rotation.
Yeah.
Like on a consistent basis. Suarez was just happy to be there. Like, he might be 34 or whatever he is, but hasn't been in the majors for 7 years before this year.
Right. Yeah, I think Scherzer probably gives you your every box that you want checked. As far as that, I don't know if Verlander really has anything left in the tank. He's 43?
Well, Scherzer's 41?
39, I think.
I think he's out of his 30s.
Is he?
I believe
he
he's
just
41.
turned 40. Yeah, just turned 40.
The thing I like about Scherzer, though, is he has that fireball mentality versus Corbin.
That's what I like.
You had to poke the bear in order to get it, essentially.
Yeah.
Like he had to be prodded. He had to be on the bench and seeing his, calls not go his teammates' way and stuff to even get that reaction out of him. I feel like Scherzer's just hot all the time.
Yeah.
Perfect world. This rotation next year, you have an Eovaldi or a Fried or a Snell at your 1. You got Eflin, you got G-Rod. And then your 4 can be Scherzer. Then you can let Kramer and Povich fight out for 5. That's just where that's
I
me
don't hate it.
personally. We got to get a left-handed starter,
Yeah.
and it can't be Rich Hill.
We need a left-handed starter and 3 right-handed bats.
I don't think 3 right-handed bats is necessary. Our stadium doesn't require that. I know teams are going to go left-hand heavy
How
against
about
us a
this?
lot of the time. I'd take that. That's a hell of a rotation right there.
Realistically, what do you think Free's gonna cost though?
27.
27. Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'd say low end 27, high end 30.
You're gonna have to pay a little bit.
You're going to have to pay one of these guys to come here.
800,000 a start.
I don't care. You just jacked up all the prices for the tickets. Go spend some of this goddamn money. If I see David Rubenstein buy another fucking Panda and doesn't pay anybody in free agency, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm going to lose my shit.
I'm with you.
I'm going to lose my shit. I will be on this show losing my mind. I might turn red and squeal like Lock and Fora if I see David Rubenstein buy another $10 million Panda for the DC Zoo, and then we got nobody in free agency because Zach brought that up. What happens if the Orioles do nothing? I will lose my mind.
Yeah.
I
think you
will,
lose the fan base.
and the thing is that would alienate them. Yes, Burns is
Yeah.
gone no matter what.
So I'm sitting here looking at Freed compared to what we had last year, with including Burns. So since August 1st, Freed pitched to a 3.53 with just a 225 average, with 71 Ks in 40 or 66 innings. Sorry, I was looking at Povich. So 66 innings had 71 Ks.
So a strikeout an inning.
Yeah.
He's good for a K an inning, and he was giving up under 4 runs a game.
To that point, Burns went 55 innings with 53 strikeouts in that same time frame, with 7 home runs given up. Freed gave up 4. Freed had 23 walks. Burns had 15.
I understand that Burns didn't walk a lot of people, but he was also giving up a good amount of home runs.
Yes.
We were talking about that the other night. The season
22.
is 6. The season is 6 months long. He was giving up a home run a week.
I bet your Freed can hold runners better than Corbin.
Probably.
Yes.
I think Freed also has a pretty quick release, like delivery.
Yeah, Freed gave up 13 home runs, 57 walks, 166 Ks. Burns had 48 walks, 181 Ks. Both had a 226 average, 9 less home runs from Freed. And 8 less doubles, too. So
that's important to me.
It is. And then the biggest thing for me is just turning guys around at Baltimore and making them hit right-handed.
I'm okay with that. Now, to get back to what Brooks was asking, yeah, Burns.
I'll answer that real quick. I'll take Sonny Gray.
Sonny Gray all day.
Yeah, I would like Sonny Gray. That would be
Would you trade Creed Willems for Sonny Gray?
No.
Straight up? Because I think Sonny's got, what, 2 years left on his deal?
Well, yeah, I think he does. I think he signed a 3-year contract last year.
I'm going to be the one that says we do, or I would. And the only reason
he's got 25 and 26, with 27 as a club option, but it's 25 a year, 35, and then 30. That's a shit ton of money.
That is a lot. That's more than I expected.
Yeah.
If I'm trading Creed, as good as Creed has been, I'm going to say you got to eat a little bit of money.
I would say at least half of that.
I would be willing to trade Creed for something of high caliber like that, only because of the comfort of Basayo.
Yeah.
Well, Basayo is going to have to learn how to be a catcher at the major league level because Fat Adley's going to have to move to DH. I'm allowed to call other fat people fat.
He ain't wrong.
Right.
No, you are not a fan of the Adley Rutschman.
I'm gonna repeat myself from the other night. Or was it last night?
2 nights ago, I think.
2 nights ago. Was it 2 nights ago? Yeah. Saturday night. Okay. I understand these guys have personal lives. I understand that these guys are going to date women and be in relationships, all that. But when you have the fall off that you had, we can physically see that you've picked up weight. And you're on TikTok eating fast food with your girlfriend who claims she's never had any of this food before. And you're barely hitting your body weight for 2 months. Bastard, you need to do something different.
Yep.
Like, come on. Like, if we fell off at our jobs for 2 straight months, the way that Adley Rutschman fell off at doing his job for half the season, we'd be fired.
Yep.
I'd be
Zach
sitting in
loves how he
HR
stabs at balls.
No, don't even get me started.
like
This isn't the place for that.
it doesn't make sense to me that you're worried about doing that hokey shit with your on again, off again girlfriend, and we're in the middle of a goddamn division race.
Yep.
It's a pennant race, and you're sitting there eating Chick-fil-A on TikTok. Like, give me a fucking break. Come on. Like, let's not even do this.
Here's another one for you. Would you take this guy
Yes.
as your everyday DH?
Yes. Yeah. Short porch in right field with his power. Yes.
Give him a 2 or 3 year deal.
2. I wouldn't go any more than 2.
It's fair.
I think if you want to make it even a little bit more of a sweetheart deal, you let his little brother tag along and give him a minor league deal.
Who the hell's his brother?
I love
Jace.
Jock.
Didn't we already have Jace once?
Yeah. Bring him
I
back.
remember him. That's his little brother? No, he's older.
Sure. I thought he was younger.
I don't think so. I was just looking at it. I was like, I remember that name. Well, I got to get all DHs now. I got to go back to infielders.
His brother's a second baseman, right?
Yeah. I just seen it. Where is he? Yeah.
Okay, so he's the older brother. Okay.
Yeah.
I had it flipped, but still. Let him play in Norfolk.
Only by 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pronounce Norfolk like Jason Lockman for because he's not cool. He's not funny.
Norfolk? I can't even say it right.
It's Norfolk.
But that's one thing that I never liked about our team was the lack of a dedicated DH. I hated the let me transition Adley here a couple nights, even though he hit well as a DH. Let me have Santander here every so often. Let me try Mountcastle. Let me try O'Hearn. Like, I get sometimes you need to spell some guys, but there's sometimes you just need a dedicated guy to go up there and just be your thumper too. Like every night, hey, just sit your ass on the bench like David Ortiz. I know you hate him, Matt, and just get out there and just hit the baseball. And that's what Jock does really well. That's what JD Martinez does really well. And I feel like that was something the Orioles were really missing last year.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
I mean, a 908 OPS from your DH, that would be one of the best on our team, wouldn't it? Outside of Gunnar?
Yeah. I think it would be.
I mean, granted, you could tell he didn't, I don't think he faced lefties often, but 367 at bats. But you see a fair amount of righties anyway. Like you said, a short porch. The entire AL East has a short porch to right field. Like, get yourself a good DH.
Does Tampa have a short porch?
It's short enough. It puts a dome. The ball flies anyway. Anywhere you hit it out there, it flies.
Now it's an indoor-outdoor stadium.
True.
Too soon?
A little bit. Yeah, I wanted JD bat. I wanted JD at the trade deadline. I was calling for him. But I was calling for Severino too, and then the Mets, had Grimace show up and start playing well, but that's a whole nother story. But when the Mets sucked, like they had a good amount of players that could have helped our team.
That's fair.
I don't think anybody expected them to do the run that they did. I don't know. So you'll like this. I believe the last that I heard about this situation was the Orioles are going to let Tampa play at Ed Smith, which is a benefit to the Orioles.
Interesting.
I bet they could. I bet they still couldn't sell out.
They might though. You'd be surprised. Ed Smith, I think, only holds like
in there.
10,000 or something like that.
That's about 8,000 too many seats.
Maybe. I mean, they're pretty close. What, Tampa and Sarasota is what, like 20 minutes, if that? I think people
Yeah.
would go.
There's a bunch of old people down there. You're not going to baseball games like that.
Yeah. I went to one game in that stadium, and it was a dump. It was a Yankees Tampa game or something like that. It was
Didn't you play in that stadium?
no, thank God.
Oh,
I would never be able to see the ball. Christ, I'm blind. The white roof. How the hell would I see it?
that's true.
I don't know. We're at it again, Matt. It's an hour and 40 in here.
Well, I'm pretty sure I ran it for a solid 40 minutes about multiple different things.
That's okay.
Yeah, I got my dog, whose name is Adley, named after the greatest catcher in Orioles history, over here whining. Gotta take
Your
that.
dog's name isn't Chris Hoyles. Stop that.
I was gonna say Javi Lopez, but
I just wanted to get
Javi
Jake going a
Lopez
little
homered
bit.
2 straight opening days.
oh,
He sure did.
that was one of my favorite catchers of all time, and I couldn't. To this day, I can't tell you why. He like
Disclaimer,
wasn't like he was that good.
I don't
Just loved him.
actually believe that for anybody that's watching right now. I'm just joking.
What? That he was one of my favorite?
No, that Adley Rutschman is the greatest catcher in
Oh.
Orioles history.
Hey, he was touted to be.
Yeah.
Still
He's a
young.
dope- He's a
Still
TikTok
young.
Star.
He's got 4 more years left behind the dish, potentially.
No, he's got 4 years left as an Oriole,
Potentially that too.
and he's got 2 years left as a everyday catcher. Because when Basayo's ready, it's Basayo's to lose.
Yeah. His thing is going to be controlling his weight, being so young. I mean, he's only. I mean, obviously, the older you get, the stronger you get. Like when he
20.
starts to get to a point where he's like 240 in a brick shit house, like you're gonna run into some issues.
I don't know. You can talk to Salvi. Salvi, it's a big boy.
God, that's a blast from the past right there.
Sal Fasano.
You remember that mustache?
Mm-hmm. I remember all the great mustaches.
Brooke Fordyce. There we go. Caleb Joseph.
I like Caleb. Caleb was fun.
Charles Johnson.
Caleb was.
God, Charles Johnson.
That
They
dude
gave him a
used to-
lot of money, didn't they?
Yeah, he used to hit bombs for us.
Yeah.
Wasn't BJ Surhoff a catcher for the Brewers before he got here?
I think he was drafted a catcher. I don't know if he ever played in the major leagues as a catcher or not. I'd have to look.
The best catcher in Orioles history.
Javi Lopez. No, I'm just kidding. Pedro Severino.
Chris Hoyles.
It has to be
Might-
Hoyles, right?
It might be Hoyles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
If you go by a pure hitter,
yeah,
it's Hoyles.
It's Hoyles all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, Weeder's gonna call a hell of a game though.
You got to watch. There's a YouTube documentary or interview, not documentary, an interview with Chris talking about some of those home runs that he hits. Dude, like he's a nut. I love it. He's
Greg Zollin.
all about it.
I'm friends with Chris Hoyles' son on Twitter.
Oh, so that's why you're being so nice.
No,
He was.
I
my
want Chris
first
Hoyles to come on
Orioles
our
autograph.
show. I'm like, I don't want
Yeah.
an autograph. I want to talk to the guy.
That'd be pretty good.
He was the first baseball that I ever got signed.
Chris Hoyles, huh?
Yep.
You are a young. Who
That's a good
calls us-
question.
Devin, it's not in Baltimore.
I don't think they trade him. All they did, so they declined his option, but he's still under arbitration. It's a very weird slated contract, but he makes 1.5 million less, but he's still under contract. But at this point, I feel like he's going to request a trade. I just don't know if they're going to trade him prior to the deadline. So that I would say he'll start Milwaukee. He'll finish Arizona. Maybe New York. We'll see.
I was going to say the Mets.
Yeah, one of the New Yorks. Mickey Tettleton. My mother modeled my game after Mickey Tettleton. Yep.
Birdland. How old are you? You just called all of us a whippersnapper.
I think he's 40.
Okay,
Maybe-
I'll allow that.
Yeah.
We're staring down the barrel of 40 right now, Zach.
Gotta know. 36. I feel like I'm 52.
Be 36 in a couple months. I feel like after 30, life just kind of beats your ass every day.
The day that I woke up that I turned 40, I had a softball tournament, and I literally woke up and my knees hurt. They never hurt for 29 years of my life. And the day that I turned 30, they hurt. And they haven't stopped since. So that old saying is true.
Yeah.
And then you have kids, and then you always got to flip them around and throw them up in the air and hold them up, and then your back starts hurting, and that just never goes away either.
Dang, mine started hurting before kids.
Birdland said he's 42. Zach is a young. Well, if Zach's a whippersnapper, I don't know what that makes Tim, because Tim's 33.
I'll be 34 in 2 months. Well, not quite 2 months, but
We haven't talked about anything like solidly baseball related for half the show, and people are still here. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
That's because our conversations are good. Or I just leave these graphics up and people look at it. I don't know.
No, nobody cares about Jock Peterson right now.
You're probably right. All right. Well, I do got to go to bed. I got to get up at 4:30.
I'm off tomorrow. That's why I'm up so late.
Must be nice.
I was about
Yeah.
to say.
Must be
State
nice.
government employee right here, sir.
Yeah. I don't even know if I'm off
another
on what's the next holiday coming up? Was it Veterans Day?
I'm off for that day too.
I don't even think I'm off.
It would be
I'm off.
Thanksgiving.
And
wouldn't it?
and I work for the government. What the hell?
I'm off tomorrow. I'm off for Veterans Day. I got Thanksgiving and what is it? Something Heritage Day. 'Cause you
Heritage
can't call it-
Toyota?
Because you can't call it Black Friday anymore.
Really?
Which I don't understand why, because it's not what people thought it meant.
Yeah. That's
It
for
means
another
companies
show.
that were in the red go into black from all the sales and the money they make.
Oh
But
yeah.
that's
All right. I'm going to wrap it up and we'll test this out, and then I'm sure I'll cancel it and we'll be back on StreamYard next week.
Yeah,
All
you know it.
right. I
Thanks for
appreciate you
having
guys
us
coming on, fellas. Everybody hang out in the chat. Appreciate y'all stopping in, and we'll catch y'all later. All right.